Hey everyone, it's Natalie, your personal life coach. Thank you for tuning into the channel. Thank you for subscribing. If you are a new subscriber, welcome. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button now. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for future content. Today's video is about 5 different signs that tell you that you are on the way to becoming a better person. With being in quarantine for so long and just the whole year of 2020, people have been in the house, having to not be with your family or friends or being around loved ones. It gives you a lot of time to self-reflect, do a lot of that inner healing work. How do I know that I'm becoming a better person, or how do I become a better person? And so hopefully within this video, I can give you some tips and point out some signs that you are on the way to becoming a better person. Might I add that this is from, people's understanding comes from wherever they are in life at the given moment. So whatever I say in any of these videos, specifically this one right now, because that's where we're at, it comes from your perception and where you are in life and your understanding. I might say something that doesn't sound to make sense to you at this point in time, which is perfectly okay. You just have to know that there might be another time where things do come up and you come back to this video and it makes better sense to you. So don't ever feel like, okay, maybe I'm not becoming a better person right now because what she's saying in the video doesn't have any rapport as to where I am at in my life. Don't feel that way. We all have our growing to do, and these steps and these signs will continuously be things that we can use to indicate our growth within life, because life is a never-ending journey, right? And so throughout life, we're going to always have to continue progressing, continue being better, continue, striving to be better versions of ourselves. Sometimes what I find is that we get so wrapped up in trying to get everything done at this given moment and at this present time that we lose track of life itself, and the most essential thing is that we can take everything that we learn throughout life and every step of the way and implement them in every given situation that we encounter. When we look back on things that we have endured or different people that we have come across or different relationships, we can see that, the old me would have done this, but the new me, I'm not doing it that way. I'm doing it another way. Just looking back, you'll be able to see the progress. So please don't be so hard on yourself. Life is a growing journey. We live and we learn and we take it one day at a time, one step at a time. And, with every situation, we could implement different things and different strategies and different techniques to better ourselves. So let's get jumping into the video. Sign number 1 that you are becoming a better person. Self-awareness. Do you ever find yourself in an argument or in a sticky situation, and the first thing you go to say is, this person did this to me, so I did this to them, and this is why I acted this way, because he pushed me or she pushed me to the limits? Well, sometimes it's easier to deflect things so we don't have to look at our behavior. But the number one part to becoming a better person is to really be self-aware. self-aware of your motives, your desires, your actions, why you did something. Then when you become aware of those things in any given situation, it gives you a deeper knowing of who you are. Because when we deflect, it makes things so much easier because we don't have to sit with our nonsense, right? And we don't have to sit down and be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Or maybe I should have done this. No, right? But when we can point the fingers and he did this, she did that, they were wrong, which is why I acted the way that I acted. When you can change that perception and be like, oh, okay, I take full accountability for my position in this argument, or I take full accountability for my part in this, and it doesn't happen right away. Sometimes we have to go through our emotions and our thought process and really dissect what just went on before we can come to a conclusion and be like, oh, okay, I did make a mistake, or I did do something that I wasn't supposed to do. And you guys, I want you to also know that this happens throughout time, and you will probably make mistakes again and again and again before you become to that point of self-awareness. But it will happen if you want it to happen. And once you realize your actions and your faults in certain situations, that is one of the signs that shows that, hey, you're becoming a better person than you were yesterday. Sign number 2, you accept your mistakes. Connecting it back to sign number 1, which is self-awareness. Sign number 2 is accepting your mistakes. We all make mistakes. We're all human. Nobody's perfect. And so when you are able to forgive yourself and be like, oh, man, I did make a mistake. I did do something that wasn't right. That is another sign that you're on your way to becoming a better you, a better person. And it's very uncomfortable to admit that, hey, I made a mistake. That can sometimes be very uncomfortable, but it's also necessary for yourself if you want to become a better person. And being on that path to becoming a better person, sometimes things are uncomfortable and we have to do a lot of that work in order to get to where we need to get to. Sign number 3, you become consciously aware of how your actions can affect other people in your surroundings. Sign number 1, 2, you want to be able to see, oh, okay, if I do this is what it may lead me to, how it may come across to other people, or how my actions affect other people, or how I do something, if I do it and the way that I do it may affect other people. Now, I'm not saying that, okay, you need to live in a bubble and that you need to think about every single thing that you do and how it may affect others. No. But let's say you have a small circle, or your surrounding people, or the people that you interact with on a daily basis, or the people that you may call your friends. Let's say, there are certain things that you say, and maybe a friend in the group may take really deep offense to it. Or, let's say you do say it, right? Let's say you do say it. You go to step number 1, you go to sign number 2, and you reflect and be like, oh, I made a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. And once you realize that, if this is somebody that you dearly care about, you should be able to go back and say, hey, man, I think I said something earlier that might have touched a nerve or something, because I remember you said something to me, and you try to make the correlation, and you go back to that person and just be like, excuse me if I did do anything, or if I did say something that may have offended you, right? Because those are people that you care about. You're not, if it's a greater population, because right now we're all on social media, right? If it's a greater population, you cannot please everybody. You can't drive yourself, how can I say this, like insane in order to be of satisfaction to every single person. No, you're just one person. At that point, you really need to focus on yourself. But if it's a small group, if it's people that you care and love and that you want to continuously have in your life, it's always good to see how your actions may affect those loved ones. Sign number 4, that you are on your way to becoming a better person. You're okay with being vulnerable. A part of being able to become a better person is that you know that it's okay to be vulnerable and honest with people that you feel safe around. So, vulnerability, it takes strength and courage to be vulnerable, to be able to open up freely and express yourself. Now, when you feel safe, if you feel okay, but fear is something that always holds us back. We're afraid to do this. We're afraid to do that. We're afraid. But sometimes everything that we want is on the other side of fear. If you've been doing the work and you've been working within yourself to express yourself, if the information of you being vulnerable lands in the hands of a right person, that person will understand you, will care, will give back, will nourish you the way that you're supposed to be with that information. Now, if the person you feel like you are trying to be or wanting to be vulnerable with has not been receptive to that information or to your feelings, then maybe that's not someone you want to open up to. Maybe that's not somebody you feel safe with. And that's completely okay. But a part of being a better person is knowing that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be honest about how you feel, what you think, without it being to the point of affecting others, to the point where it's hurting somebody. How can I say this? It's hurting someone to the point, as long as you know that you are being honest and conscious of your actions and your wording and how you may say something to somebody, then it should be okay for you to open up, be honest, and be vulnerable. Sign number 5. You get to the root of your problems. Now, in order to become a better person, we have to face reality. And sometimes reality is really hard to face. But one of the things in life is to know that you cannot run away from your problems. Problems will always be here. But one sign, especially if you're not accustomed to doing this, to know that you are becoming a better person and you're on the right path, is that you face your problems. This is problems and this is you. Instead of being like, this is too difficult to deal with, I'm just not going to deal with it and run away. But the problems are always going to still be there, right? But you come face to face with the problems and you deal with it head on. And through dealing with your problems, you're finding out you're finding out the causes, the whys, the how-tos, and you try to maneuver and find ways that work instead of just avoiding the problem. Because once you avoid something, it's going to keep coming up and up and up until you face it and you deal with it and you know why this is happening. How can I get through this? What is the next step? How do I maneuver over it? And it is painful sometimes. I am not even going to lie for 1 second. It is very painful to sometimes face your biggest fears, to face the biggest obstacles, to face the biggest problems. But one of the things to having a better life and getting a better life is to face that problem. And until you can face your problems, your fears, they're going to always keep coming up. And you're going to always have to keep finding yourself in the position to do the work, to face it. Now, your life is in your hands. I am your personal life coach. I am here for you. If you do need any services, the description box has all the information that you may need. If you have made it this far in this video, you are on the right path to becoming a better person. Always come back, look at these videos for references, contact me if you do need services, if you feel like, hey, I need some extra help, I need someone to help me, sit down and pinpoint the problems. I will make out an individualized plan just for you so that we can discuss and dissect what exactly does it take for you to become the best version of you. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing, and commenting. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the comments. I love engaging with you guys. So thank you. If you've made it this far, also don't forget to check out www.aunaturelcare.com for your skincare needs. We will be adding new products and new things coming up. Like you guys know, it is a small business and we're still growing. So we're looking at different things. We're looking at our clientele and things that we can add to make everything better for you guys, just like we are doing with this YouTube channel. Thank you guys again. Bye.